Ladies and gentlemen, this is an emergency video. I am putting together a relief fund for this poor woman who is, in her own words, haunted by the experience of having dinner with conservatives that support Trump. And she's never met anybody like this before in her life. It's such a fringe, like, extreme position. I mean, Trump only won election in 2016 with 46% of the vote. Like, that doesn't represent a large portion of America. He's like ahead over Biden at the moment, so he'll probably win a plurality of the popular vote this time if an election was held tomorrow. But I mean, what all of this means is these people are extremists because they're a majority of the majority. They're not a majority of the minority. If they were a majority of the minority, then they would be okay. But this poor woman, Michelle Kaczynski, or however you pronounce it, she was very haunted by this experience. So let's see, what does it say that she is? Writer, host, storyteller. That is not a good. I mean, at least she's being honest. I'll give her that much. So she's apparently a journalist, but she doesn't put journalist here. So I'm gonna give her some points for just saying that she's just a storyteller. She just makes stuff up. She covered the White House, State Department, and the world for news. Now I make things I'd watch, which this is apparently something she'd watch. So let's look at this traumatic experience that she had. And once again, I'm starting a relief fund. She clearly has PTSD. She needs therapy. She needs boxed wine. She needs Xanax. You can give me money at argent.simp.jpeg.html. And you send me some money there and I'll make sure it gets to her. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I had dinner with a few couples, friends of friends, all American. Is she not American, I guess? That's kind of a weird way of putting it. I mean, she's American, so it's just kind of a weird, it's kind of a strange way of putting it. All were well educated and successful in careers. They seemed great on the surface for like an hour. Who writes like this? This is the decline of human capital right here. But slowly, over a few drinks, they began to let slip their true MAGA natures. One of the couples each attended top Ivy League colleges. But now that it was university time for their own kids, they were adamantly not letting them apply to any Ivies, and were weird about explaining why, though the kids were double legacies. Okay, moving on. It's just like, why would you not want your kids to go to a school and like have hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans and live in wage debt slavery for the remainder of their natural lives and never be able to pay it off? Why would you do that? Why, if you were like a conservative parent, would you not want your kids to go to Ivy League schools? It's, you know what? I'm going to read through the lines here. They explained it to her and she just didn't get it. Like, they tried to explain the concept of money to her and she was just like, what does that mean? I don't know. Obama will pay for it out of his stash. Does anyone remember the Obama stash? Well, anyways. The next crew suddenly busted out with air quotes when mentioning climate change. Oh, again, these are otherwise smart people, not scientists, clearly, but educated. So that is like, they have some doubts. They doubt the climate change. It's I can't understand how someone could disagree with me on this. Like, there's only one point of view in the world, and it's my point of view, and I can't empathize. You know what they let me just look this up. Let's just take a side look here. We're just going to do this. A sociopath or antisocial personality disorder. You lack empathy, which means you don't care about or understand other people's feelings. That's an interesting one to put here. It's almost as if she kind of has some of those characteristics, but that's slander. So let's get back to. I'm gonna keep talking like this. So these people, like, they have a difference of opinion, and they're just crazy. And the dude took seething umbrage. It's seething when my friend mentioned the damage Trump had done and vowed to continue to do. How could they say that? Like, how could they say they support? No one supports Trump. Like, Trump had no support. That's why he won the one election. And if you actually look at the percentage of the votes that he lost by, it was only like what 30,000 votes in a couple swing states. So it's a fringe, like it's fringe. Um, so the others, when they realized that a few in their presence came armed with gasp actual facts, no, is this woman like 5 years old? Like, once again, decline of human capital, ladies and gentlemen. This is a serious adult journalist. This is a serious adult woman who lives in a serious adult house. Let's see, how old is she? Oh, I clicked off it, but she knows. She is a journalist. She is an investigative journalist, and part of being an investigative journalist is to not attempt to figure out anything about a person and to just completely be incapable of empathizing with them. It's really interesting. Emotional, unpredictable, and dramatic behavior. They have violent mood swings driven by stress, low self-esteem, and fear of abandonment. It's difficult. I feel like there might be some of that here. The common symptoms: lack of empathy for others, impulsive behavior like posting retarded things on Twitter, attempting to control others with threats or aggression. That sounds like this. Using intelligence, charm, or charisma to manipulate others, not learning from mistakes, lying for personal gain, generally superficial relationships, threatening suicide to manipulate without the intention of actually doing it. There might be some of this later on. Trouble with responsibilities such as a job, paying bills, etc. It's all very interesting. It sounds kind of familiar here. So quickly changed the subject and nervously said they didn't want to talk politics. They realized they would be eviscerated on all idiotic points, especially on the economy, because Bidenomics is working for privileged White House correspondents, I guess, or something like that. Once again, it's not like they have a difference of opinion on the economy. It's not that there's multiple theories here, because it's not like there's people who say, well, maybe there needs to be more intervention, maybe there needs more stimulus, maybe there needs to be lower taxes and more support of individual initiative. No, there is no alternatives on the economy. There's just whatever Bidenomics are, and if you disagree with that, you're stupid. And you're stupid. And it's funny that she is accusing this person of umbrage and seething when this whole thing is just her seething. This is yeah. As it went on, my friends and I realized we were surrounded by otherwise carefully closeted megatats. It's funny how the extremist or just wrong beliefs can't help but leak out, even when you least expect them, and from people you least expect. They are out there. There's a certain thing here of being oblivious, not being self-aware, not being able to empathize with others. The dinner continues to haunt me. It haunts her, guys. The dinner haunts her because she had to she interacted with like people who represent half the country, and she's never interacted with these people before, and it hurt her because she is an investigative journalist, and an investigative journalist gets on the ground and talks to people. But MAGA people are not people, I guess, in her opinion. They are out there. The dinner continues to haunt me. They all seem so normal. When I asked the couple who were my old friends how they didn't know, they said that in their upscale Florida neighborhood, people are extremely careful to not ever broach or debate the subject. This is not healthy. So maybe they didn't want to bring it up because you would write this like psychotic like Twitter post slamming them and shitting on them and saying they're like crazy and extremists and stuff like that. Maybe that's the reason that they don't like to talk about politics. Notice, if you ever notice, like, if you look at basically any study that's done on who's more afraid of saying their political views, it's always liberals. Sorry, it's always conservatives who are more afraid. If you ever look on, would you break off a friendship because the other person's political views? It's overwhelmingly like, it's like 2 or 3 to 1 for liberals. Now, to be fair, and we can talk about this some other time, that's part of the reason why we lose all the time, the refusal to think tribally. But my point is, she's like, there's the total lack of self awareness here, the sense of entitlement, the sense of superiority. It actually kind of makes me sick. It kind of makes me want to vomit. What a fucking bitch. What a horrendous, arrogant, stuck up, snobbish scumbag of a person. What has she ever fucking accomplished in her life that she's shitting on tens of millions of average Americans who go to church, who raise their families, who work a job, often with little pay, and can barely make ends meet? And those people want to pay less taxes, or they don't want their factory jobs shipped overseas. But no, they're shit. They're scum. As I've said many times, people like her, the upper class has a deep, profound hatred of you. And it's personal. It's not abstract. It's not like communism where it's you're a class enemy. They hate you as an individual person. And if they had the chance, they would kill you. They would send you to a camp. They don't view you as another human being. And it's hard to accept this, but this, I think, is a good example of that. And I'm sorry if I'm getting really angry here, but it irritates me so much. Just the once again, there's a reason why pride is the worst sin, and this is just massive pride. Um, so it's just like, why do you think conservatives don't say they're conservatives? Because, like, psychos like you go on Twitter and they make posts like this, and they slam these people, and maybe these people can be identified, and you'll get your followers to go and harass them or dox them, or whatever it is. And I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to get them fired from their jobs or whatever, and that this is like, that's part of it. But, like, no, like, they don't want to say their ideas because there's emotionally unhinged people like you who will go out and do this. But what a piece of scum. Like, what a fucking horrible person. That would do something like this, especially when they have a large audience and expect sympathy and say that they're haunted and shit like that. Like, lady, there's people in the world who have real problems. There's people in the world who have real problems. Their kids get taken away. The interest rates went up and they can't afford their mortgage. They have cancer. They have serious medical issues. But what haunts you is not any of that. What haunts you is you went to a dinner in an upper class Florida neighborhood. Florida is a dark red state now, honey. And it's not surprising that there might be some Republicans in the dark red state that's run by DeSantis. And yeah, like, it's just, it irritates me. Like, once again, these people hate you. And it's not just you, the white working class. It's not just you. Like, it's everybody. It's everybody who's not part of their country club. It's everybody who doesn't virtue signal. It's everybody who doesn't fly the LGBTQ flag or say, like, Slava Ukraine, or engage in displays of fake public grief in order to virtue signal. If you're not one of those people, they hate you. It doesn't matter if you're middle class. It doesn't matter if you're university educated. All of these things are just a smokescreen. They're just excuses that are created for why these people hate you and want to kill you. I mean, is it even really arguable at this point in time that is what they want? I don't know. Anyways, please donate to my relief fund. Once again, it's argent.simp.jpeg.html. And God bless.